So if you're going to change your upper ball joint on your 95 Dodge Ram 2500 van, you need all these tools. You need the ball joint press kit, you need the tie rod separator kit, grease gun, big flathead, 3/4 inch ratchet, torque wrench, 1/2 inch breaker bar, regular ratchet, extension, 13mm socket, 19mm socket, 15/16 socket, and a 16mm socket. Decent tool kit. Obviously a new ball joint, and a pipe or a square to extend this and get more leverage. These ball joints aren't pressed in, they're threaded, so you have to use this ball joint socket, I guess, and it goes over top of that. You take the 3/4 inch driver, put it in there, and then you can get it out. I've already done this side, so I'm going to move to the next side and show you how it's actually done. The 19mm socket is actually only to get your wheel off. So other than that, you don't need it. You can rent these kits from Advanced Auto. It's going to run you like $300, but when you take the kits back, you get all your money back because they're just rentals. So the first things you do is to take your 13mm and separate the brake line from the upper control arm, because when you pop this out, this whole thing is going to fall down and you don't really want them attached to each other by the brake line. Then you got to clean this nut off of all the old grease and get the cotter pin out, and that's what I'm going to do that. Forgot to mention, you also need at least one type of needle nose pliers to get this cotter pin out. Easy way to get the cotter pin out: just stick one side of the needle nose into the end of the cotter pin and take a hammer and hit the pliers, and it'll come out. Now you're going to take your 5/16 socket and loosen the castle nut. Don't loosen it too far because the brake line gets in the way. Next, take your 16mm and you need to remove the brake line so that this fits under here, because otherwise the brake line blocks this bolt. Because this does not come off with a ball joint fork. You pretty much need this. Now you can take your ball joint socket, put it on there, get your 3/4 ratchet, and just loosen it for now. After that's loose, set up your puller. Another thing I forgot to mention that you need is a adjustable wrench for this. Alright, so once that's popped, you just take this thing off of here. Then you can finish removing the castle bolt the rest of the way. if the ball joint just spins when you're trying to get the castle bolt out, you're gonna need some pliers or some vice grips to hold this steady so you can take the nut the rest of the way off. Alright, once that's off, just go back to your ball joint socket and finish unthreading the ball joint. This is a pain in the ass and it takes a long time. Alright. I just want to clean all this up. Of course, you want to put some grease in here and on the threads of the new ball joint. I'm just going to take some of this grease because it's actually new grease. You actually want to take this boot off so you can put the ball joint back in. So the boot doesn't really fit through there and you don't want to wreck the boot. So you just take the flathead and pry it off, but be careful not to wreck the boot with the flathead because it'll go right through it. Once you have the clip ring down, you can just use your thumb to, or just the flathead to get the boot off. So there you go. And just put it in there. This one's actually going in a lot easier than the other one. So once you have that in a little bit, oh yeah, also put some grease around on this. So once you have that in, get your boot, just stick it on there for now, and line these back up. If you need to move this around, don't do it by the threads, do it up here. Get it in just enough to put your castle nut on there so it all stays together. Now you can take your socket again and put it the rest of the way down. Don't forget to put your new grease fitting on there too. Then you can get your clip ring back up there. Put your castle nut on the rest of the way. And torque it to 74 foot-pounds. And of course, put the new cotter pin in. Then grease your new ball joint. And just reattach your parts that you took off when you put this on. Make sure you have both little copper gaskets. One for this side. Put it on like that. You have one on this side. And so that's it for the ball joint.